Welcome back to the deep dive. Okay, so you've brought us some really fascinating material today, and it's all centered on technological innovation in sports science.
It really is. And while things like AI and wearables are, foundational, our focus today is on these two forces that are just changing everything.
Virtual reality, VR, and augmented reality, AR. They're completely revolutionizing how athletes train, and maybe just as importantly, how we as fans get to experience the game.
It's a huge shift. I mean, we're really at the end of an era for old school training. You have to remember sports tech has been around forever, but it was, well, simple.
Simple is a good word for it. In the ancient Greek Olympics, they were using ropes and sticks for basic measurements.
Exactly. And the first real timekeeping devices, mechanical clocks, didn't show up until the 17th century. We spent hundreds of years just trying to measure speed and distance accurately.
So we've always been looking for that edge. But what's changed now in the 21st century, that's pushed us past just, measuring things.
It's the convergence. It's
Right.
VR and AR coming together with those pillars you mentioned, the wearables collecting massive amounts of data, and the AI that can actually make sense of it all in real time.
So we're moving from just recording what happened to actively simulating and enhancing what's happening right now.
Precisely. We're not just looking at slow motion video after a game to see what went wrong. We're creating these information-rich environments where athletes can fix errors before they even become habits.
Okay, let's unpack this for you. I think we need to define the two technologies right up front because they get bundled together, but they do very different things.
Yeah, that's the most important distinction. The easiest way I think about it is immersion versus integration.
Immersion versus integration. I like that.
So virtual reality, or VR, is all about total sensory lockout. It puts you completely inside a simulated digital 3D space. Our sources point out this really grew out of the video gaming
You're
world.
cutting off the real world entirely.
Completely. And then you've got augmented reality. AR doesn't replace reality at all. It enhances it. It overlays digital interactive information right onto the physical world in front of you.
Usually through your phone or some kind of smart glasses. It's digital insight, right? Where and when you need it.
Exactly.
So let's start with VR then. The technology of, as you said, isolation and immersion, its real power, seems to be creating these realistic training scenarios without the physical risks of the real world. You're isolating the skill.
And that isolation is key because it allows for incredible repetition without the physical cost.
Right.
Think about a pro tennis player. If you make them repeat a perfect serve thousands of times in real life, you're going to get joint strain, fatigue, burnout.
Sure.
In VR, you can build that same muscle memory, that same neural pathway with zero physical risk.
And our sources show it goes way beyond just muscle memory. I mean, some of the top tier teams are using VR for incredibly complex tactical analysis.
Oh, yeah. A club like Manchester City, for example, they aren't just in there practicing a corner kick, they're recreating entire past matches.
So the players can actually relive a game.
They can relive it from any vantage point, through their own eyes, a teammate's eyes, or even through the eyes of an opponent. It becomes less about physical practice and more about training split-second decision-making.
You're training the brain to process a huge amount of information under pressure.
That's it. It's cognitive load training. And it's crucial in these fast-paced team sports.
I also thought the example from combat sports was fascinating. For a boxer, you can create a virtual opponent that mimics a specific fighter's style.
A perfect simulation of a high-level training partner. You can practice defense, your reaction time, everything you need against a champion-level opponent.
But without taking any physical damage. You're getting the high-level exposure, but you're minimizing the risk of concussion.
And this is where it gets really interesting, for me at least. It's the psychological side of it. VR isn't just a digital punching bag, it's a tool for building mental toughness.
How so?
It's all about addressing anxiety, stress, and how you focus under pressure.
You mentioned this idea of a virtual pressure cooker. So how does succeeding in a simulation actually translate to a real-life game?
It uses a technique called graduated exposure. We all know that performance can drop under high stress. People call it choking. Well, VR can simulate those scenarios perfectly. The roar of a full stadium, the final seconds on the clock, a game-winning penalty kick, by putting the athlete in that situation over and over.
But letting them succeed.
But letting them succeed, exactly. You are literally building new neural pathways associated with confidence and success under pressure.
So it's not just getting used to the noise. It's conditioning the mind to stay focused and make the right decision because of the noise, not in spite of it.
You've got it. We're linking that mental clarity directly to the physical task. So when the real moment arrives, the cognitive performance doesn't drop off. The chance of failure from pressure goes way, way down.
Okay, so if VR is about locking yourself away to perfect a skill and strengthen the mind, let's pivot. Let's talk about augmented reality. AR is all about adding data into your real environment.
It's the coach's eye, but it's digital and it's instantaneous. This is where it really shines, giving objective feedback in real time, right in the athlete's field of view.
And this is where those other technologies we mentioned have to come in. For AR to tell a pitcher their angle is off, it needs data from wearables, right?
Absolutely. The AR glasses themselves aren't doing the measuring, they're the display. You have sophisticated sensors in the athlete's clothes or equipment tracking thousands of data points a second.
Joint rotation, swing plane, things like that.
All of it. That data gets fed into an AI model, and the AR headset then overlays the correction, maybe the ideal ball trajectory, or the correct angle for your knee, right onto the real world.
That feedback loop must be revolutionary. You see the mistake the second you make it.
And that's not just about improving your game. As our sources point out, it's a huge factor in reducing injury risk by guiding proper form instantly.
And I assume this applies to team tactics as well.
For sure. Instead of drawing on a whiteboard, a coach can use AR to project formations and player data right onto the field during practice. A player can literally see where they're supposed to be in relation to their teammates' real-time positions. It just makes learning complex plays so much faster.
Okay, so if we connect this to the bigger picture, AR isn't just changing training. It's totally transforming the business of sports through fan engagement. And there's a real challenge there.
A huge challenge.
The sources cite a pretty stark statistic. Only 47% of Gen Z identify as sports fans compared to 70% of millennials. That's a massive drop. Leagues have to adapt.
They absolutely have to, or they risk becoming irrelevant. AR is the answer because it turns watching a game from a passive experience into an interactive one.
So what does that look like if you're actually at the stadium?
Imagine you're in your seat. You look through your phone or smart glasses, and you see real-time stats floating next to the players on the field. Or it could show you the shortest line for the restroom, or an instant replay from 5 different angles.
All without taking your eyes off the action. It makes the live experience much richer. But what about for everyone watching at home? That's the bigger audience.
No doubt. And at home, people can use AR apps to overlay all those live stats. But more importantly, for the business side, they can virtually try on merchandise.
So you could see what a new jersey looks like on you before you buy it.
Exactly. And this isn't a small thing. The data shows this virtual try-on can increase online sales conversion by up to 94%.
Wow.
And, maybe just as important, it reduces product returns by 66%.
Wait, so you almost double your sales and cut your returns by 2/3. That's a complete game changer for retail.
It is. So AR isn't just a cool gimmick. It's an essential marketing tool for building brand loyalty with a younger, digital-first audience. And every time a fan interacts, the league gets more valuable data about their behavior.
Okay, so we've covered the benefits, and they're obviously huge. But this can't be simple. What does this all mean in terms of challenges? Implementation has to be a major hurdle.
It's the primary hurdle, accessibility. High-quality VR and AR systems are incredibly expensive. It's not just buying the hardware, it's the cost of creating these custom virtual environments.
So it creates a kind of technological divide.
It absolutely does, an unequal distribution of training opportunities. Only the wealthiest teams and organizations can afford to play at this level right now.
And what about the physical side of it? You're asking athletes to perform while wearing, a computer on their face.
That's a real problem. The current VR gear can be heavy, it can cause neck strain, and motion sickness is still a persistent issue.
That disconnect between what your eyes see and what your body feels.
Right, that sensory conflict. Even a tiny bit of lag in the software can induce dizziness, which is obviously not what you want during training.
And for contact sports, there's always the reality gap criticism. You can simulate the strategy of a football tackle, but you can't simulate the actual physical force.
It's a valid critique. VR can give you the visual cues, but it's missing that physical feedback, the chaos, the raw physicality that you need to be prepared for in a real game. The psychological training is there, but the full physical prep isn't.
Looking forward then, where does this go? Are we going to see this tech get more seamless?
Oh, for sure. The hardware will get lighter, more comfortable, cheaper. We'll eventually see things like smart contact lenses replacing the bulky goggles we have today.
Or where's the big growth area?
I think the most fascinating future is its integration with the world of esports.
which is now a legitimate, globally recognized competitive sport.
It is, and VR and AR are poised to just completely merge with it, blurring the lines between digital and physical competition. But across all sports, the ultimate goal is personalization. Using all this data to create hyper-customized training programs to maximize every single athlete's unique potential.
So to summarize this deep dive for you, on one hand, you have virtual reality. It provides that safe, deep psychological immersion you need for skill practice and building real mental toughness.
And on the other, you have augmented reality. It doesn't isolate you, it integrates. It provides that real-time, data-rich overlay for instant technique correction, and at the same time, it's completely changing the game for fan engagement.
The end goal being this total customization of an athlete's preparation and maybe eventually the democratization of elite training methods
Yeah.
once the costs come down.
A fascinating convergence, really.
It is. Which leaves us with a final provocative thought for you to consider. Given how successful VR is at simulating high-stakes competition, at building those new neural pathways for success, if the best athletes are already at the peak of physical condition, is the next great competitive frontier purely psychological? And how long will it be until the mental training from VR actually outweighs the benefits of traditional physical